Okay, I'm just going to see here if my microphone is picking up well. I'm going to give it a moment to catch up with everybody here to log in. And let's just see how this goes. So what I'm going to do is just for everyone who has any questions, just go ahead and type them into the chat box during the webinar presentation. I do want to keep this at 45 minutes. So I am going to be proceeding through very quickly, and I'm going to be having a slide screen presentation up, so I won't be able to see your questions during the presentation, but I will be getting back to you if you have any questions. So type them in there. I'm going to note them all for later to get back to you. And at the same time, I want you please to remember to mute your microphones, your computers, etc., so that we have a nice clean recording for everybody as well. So I'm just going to type that in, and then once we have that going, I think we'll be good to start. So okay. So here we are. I just wanted to give a little introduction of myself. My name is Roseanne, and I have been a Young Living customer for now over 15 years. So I am really pleased to be able to give you this presentation on basically the chemical-free home. This is a great little booklet. I'm happy to share this with you if you're interested in reading more about it. There is great lists and references in the booklet here on known poisonous products, ingredient lists, and 30 ways to poison yourself before breakfast. Lovely, isn't it? But anyway, before we go into that, what I'm going to do is I am going to share my screen. And once I share my screen, then you will be able to follow along with the presentation, and we can proceed through this for the 45 minutes that we have. Okay, thanks so much. So again, if you could just make sure that you're muted, and if you have any questions, you can type them into the chat box, and I will be sure to compile the questions later so that I can get back to everyone. This is being recorded, so that if you weren't able to be here live, this is going to be sent out to the others who have messaged me. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and let's just get hopefully the right desktop here. And I'm going to go ahead and launch the presentation. Okay, wonderful. So welcome to Essential Oils 101. Now here is it's going to be a webinar about essential oils and essential oil safety, but really it's also about the harmful toxic chemicals that we have in our home. But before I get into that, I want to go into a little bit about my story and why I am so passionate about sharing this message with everyone. As you may or may not know, my name is Roseanne, and I've been a Young Living customer for over 15 years now. And more recently, I've been an independent Young Living distributor with the Oiler Master teams for the past 4 years. I am a certified life enhancement coach, a special needs strategist, an author, an energy healer, and a radio show host. I have 3 beautiful children. My 19-year-old daughter is at university. My 18-year-old son has special needs and is now home full-time with us. And my 4.5-year-old, almost 5-year-old son is also home because he's being homeschooled. So right now, my focus is on education and making sure you know how to use amazing tools that nature has provided us So I really want you to get comfortable, relax, enjoy this lecture. It's an essential oil course covering over 50 years of aromatherapy information in about 45 minutes. So I'm going to be going a little bit fast because I want to get all the information in, but it is my passion to help people live a chemical-free lifestyle. So let's start at the very beginning. Let's start. There we are. So this is my Young Living story. I got my Young Living starter kit way back in 2002 because my son was diagnosed with a rare genetic condition that had the doctors guessing on how to help him. And so I started to do my own research and stumbled upon Young Living essential oils. What was amazing was I soon discovered that these oils were not only going to help my son's health and well-being, but was also amazing for my whole family to use. Now, I wasn't as lucky as you are, and my starter kit didn't come with a diffuser, but I did my best to learn how to creatively use the essential oils around my home. And now I use essential oils in place of chemical cleaners in our home. We have replaced every single thing under our sink with one single bottle of Thieves Household Cleaner. I use essential oils in diffusers around the house. I have 3 different diffusers to diffuse in various spots around the house because we all want to have the diffuser nearby. And it's great for having in the bedrooms at nighttime. So they rotate around. I use them in various spots for emotions and stress to calm my family down. I use them to get rid of smells. I use them in my personal care products, such as my toothpaste, my mouthwash, my dental floss, my deodorant, my shampoos and conditioners, and my body washes. Essential oils are just about everywhere in our home. I'd love to show you one day, take you on a tour once we have our home organized, because I don't know if you see somewhere, I don't know if you see the video as well at the same time, but it's a big mess in the house right now. So basically, the reason I do this, why am I so passionate about having all these products in our home, is that every essential oil that we use is a chemical that we do not have to use. And in this lecture, we're going to hit on the big topics that you need to know to use your oils effectively. Some things such as, other information you can look up. There's great resources out there utilizing the amazing studies that have been done over the past 5 years on essential oils, really great ones. If you want to get your hands on that, let me know. I can send you some of the links. We'll talk a little bit about what oils are, some on their history, essential oil purity, and why that is so critical, how oils are made, how they enter the body, essential oil safety. Then I will go over how to start if you want to get essential oils into your home. Now, for those of you who already have the Young Living essential oils in your home, maybe you're listening to this right now because you want to learn to use them better, because maybe you've only dabbled in them. That's how I was when I first started, but now I've got 15, 16 years of practice. So there's so many great little tips that you can do, and once you start using them, you don't want to stop, and you're going to keep expanding. Now, I want you to know that I'm not out to sell you anything. That's not what this is about. I'm out to get as many people off chemicals as possible. You see, having a child with special needs has made it very clear to me how much we are exposed in our day-to-day life to toxic chemicals and the negative impact that can have on our overall health and well-being. And what it really is about is the body burden. I've mentioned that in some of my intro videos out there. It's about how much over time, this is a great quote here, what is the cumulative effect on our health after using many, many products that contain small amounts of dangerous, poisonous chemicals? What is the body burden that occurs when we are constantly putting little bits of something we shouldn't have in our bodies or in our environment? So let's, the reality is I don't want anything in my house that I cannot pronounce, and I have no idea what it is, and I wouldn't know how it is even negatively doing to myself or the rest of my family. And that's why I'm doing this presentation. So let's learn about essential oils, because they are a fabulous way to swap out the chemicals instead. So let's go to I think I missed the slide. There we go. What are essential oils? Here it shows you a volatile substance derived from plants containing the natural smell and characteristics of the plant. extracted primarily through steam distillation, potent, volatile, and versatile. So they are the most powerful part of the plant, the lifeblood of the plant that initiates regeneration into the cells. They are distilled from shrubs, flowers, trees, roots, bushes, fruit rinds, resins, and herbs. Oils consist of over 100 different natural organic compounds. Anything that our blood does for us is what the essential oils do for the plant. So they carry nutrients and oxygen to the different organs in our body and can effectively combat the damaging effects of toxins, impurities, and harmful substances in and around our body. So essential oils will never expire, although some oils may lose their strength a little bit, such as lemon, for example. So I actually found, yesterday, when I was organizing some of my samples and oils that I have here in the house, I found a really old starter kit that I had, and I didn't realize I actually had some oil still in there. So it was like this bonus find. So they are still good. It doesn't matter how old they are. Young, living essential oils do not expire. And this is important to know. It's not across the board as far as essential oils go. It's only because these are pure oils. When other companies are putting in extenders and other chemicals into their essential oils, yes, they do that. They actually, most of them you will see have expiry dates, and they do expire. So that is one big difference with Young Living. So essential oils have a unique ability to penetrate through the blood-brain barrier in only a few seconds. Essential oils are made up of very tiny molecules that have the ability to penetrate the cell membrane and transport oxygen and nutrients inside the cell, thus giving more support to the immune system and help us heal from the inside out. So essential oils are basically very powerful antioxidants. However, all this is only possible with the purest of oils, again, and it's not with most store-bought oils, as they contain more toxins. They're putting additional things into their essential oils to make them go farther. But we will get more into that in a moment. So in humans, they provide support for every system in the body, your skeletal system, your muscular system, circular system, etc. They support brain health and healthy weight. They are used extensively for emotions and for spiritual support in prayer life. An oil in a diffuser can soothe a child's cough or a child's tough day at school and provide a calming effect when you've had a stressful day at work. Oils can be used as an alternative to toxic cleaning chemicals in the home. And you can literally start swapping out every single chemical cleaning toxin in your home to live a pure lifestyle. And you can do this without breaking the bank. Now, here is Thieves Household Cleaner, and there's laundry detergents. These are the only things I'm using right now. The household cleaner, I tell you, goes a long, long way. These are concentrated formulas. So you're using one capful, for example, for the a bottle of a spray cleaner. And if you basically break down the cost, it's like about $1.50 for a full bottle of a spray cleaner. Now, you can't get that. It's actually not expensive. You can't buy those kind of products, especially healthy ones, in the store for that price. So going back to the essential oils, there are about 300 oils on earth, but you only need about 10 to 20 of them to build a good kit. You do not need to be an aromatherapist to use them. This is really, really important. In most cases, you can just rub it topically onto the skin. Actually, there are three main ways to get oils into your system, and there are different views on this. There's the English system, which applies it topically, just rubbing it into the skin. The French system is about ingesting and cooking with it. We don't recommend doing that here in Canada. And Germans actually diffuse and inhale them, which can be the most effective method because it doesn't have to pass through the digestive system either. So again, not ingesting. The two that we really do recommend is aromatically, so just diffusing, or you can put it a little bit in your hands, as you see with the woman here in the picture, and just smelling it from your hands, from the palm of your hands. You can actually even just smell an essential oil straight out of the bottle. I mean, how cheap is that? You're not even using the oil, you're literally just smelling it out of the bottle, and you can get the beneficial effects from it aromatically. Sorry, my little English words are stumbling. And then, of course, my other favorite way is topically. And I'm showing a picture here of little feet because we're going to go more into safety for children, etc. But it's in general, even for adults, the safest place to apply an essential oil is on the bottom of the feet. It's just, we have, it's a tougher type of skin, and it goes into the system very fast that way as well. And you can see in the other, you can put it directly onto the shoulder, that one pan away. Each oil has a preferred method of using it, and we're going to go more specifically into some of the oils so that you understand the best ways of using them. Now, how do they enter into the body and how long do they last? Tests have shown oils to reach the heart, liver, and thyroid in 3 seconds when inhaled. They were found in the bloodstream in 26 seconds when applied topically, and expulsion of essential oils takes 3 to 6 hours in a normal, healthy body. So that's basically how quickly these oils do work when they are applied topically, which is why it's one of my favorite ways to use the oils. Now, the history, essential oils history. This is really important to understand. Essential oils, a lot of people are jumping on the bandwagon. You can think you're seeing a lot of buzz about essential oils, but they have been around for a long, long time. They were first mentioned by name in the biblical book of Genesis, chapter 37, when Joseph was sold to the slave traders. They carried spicery, balm, and myrrh. Genesis ends with the burial of Joseph's father anointed with myrrh, and oils are mentioned 1,100 times directly or indirectly in Scripture. Some of the oldest cultures on earth used essential oils. The Babylonians placed orders for cedarwood, myrrh, and cypress. The Egyptians used essential oils for beauty and embalming, and they have the oldest recorded deodorant recipe made with essential oils. Pakistan and Rome used essential oils in the communal bathhouses, and they were used by Christ, of course. Jesus was given gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Frankincense is sometimes referred to as the coconut oil of essential oils because it has over 10,000 uses. Each essential oils were used by the medieval Europeans, most of whom brought oils back during the Crusades. And it was only after World War II, though, that essential oils were rediscovered, and the science on their uses is growing with every single year. So essential oils have been around for a long, long time, and there's a reason for that. They work, but we're going to question that. Do essential oils work? I have personally used essential oils for now over 15 years, 16, I would say, actually. I was lucky that I happened to stumble upon Young Living essential oils right from the beginning. But in all honesty, as I mentioned earlier, I didn't have any guidance on how to use them at first. I wasn't lucky enough to have a diffuser either, so I only used them topically or sometimes dabbled them onto cotton balls to freshen up the room, etc. A couple of favorites stood out right away from the beginning. Peppermint was by far my favorite, and then of course lavender. I used it everywhere because it just smelled so nice. But now years later, then later, I became a single mom, and my budget got cut down to just getting by and surviving. So Young Living essential oils actually didn't make it on my monthly budget. So but I really had enjoyed using the essential oils. So I actually went to the drugstore and bought oil of oregano, which was all the rage back when, and it was touted as such a miracle essential oil. But it was really strange because it didn't give me the same results as I got when I was using Young Living essential oils. So I actually stopped using essential oils altogether for a bit because I thought maybe it was in my head. Maybe these oils were just something nice that I like to smell and they didn't really work. Only later did I learn that in North America, there is no rating system for essential oils. Now, that means that the only thing a company is required to do in order to label a bottle of essential oils as pure or therapeutic grade is the contents of that bottle must contain at least 5% essential oil. 5%, that's it. So for most companies, that means 95% of essential oil that they are selling might be something other than an essential oil, such as fillers, etc. So what we need to understand is that all oils in the world fall into one of four categories: grade A, B, C, or D. Grade A is therapeutic, made from organically grown plants and distilled at low temperatures. That's Young Living. Grade B oils are food grade, but may contain synthetics, pesticides, fertilizers, chemical extenders, or carrier oils. Grade C oils are perfume oils that often contain adulterating chemicals. They usually use solvents, for example, hexane, to gain a higher yield of oil per harvest, meaning they want to be able to get more oil out of the plants than not using that solvent. Solvents can be cancerous and are in many store-bought oils. They may also be diluted 80 to 95% with alcohol. Grade D is called floral water, which is aromatic only and is usually a byproduct of grade A distillation. So if you go out there and you see something that's labeled floral water, it's not actually an essential oil. It is the byproduct. It's the water that was distilled with the processing of the grade A. So after all the oil is pulled out, the leftover trash water is sold to companies which fill 5% of a bottle with this leftover trash water, fill the rest with carriers, and label it pure. To me, that was shocking to learn, but there it is. Grade A is the only true pure oil. Grade D would be like walking into your fridge, taking a glass of orange juice, and diluting it 95% before you drink it. It wouldn't have the full benefits of orange juice. That's why you want grade A oils. Before you purchase, check to see if the company grows their own plants, owns their own fields, and controls the entire process from seed to seal. From the farm to the sealed bottle. We'll be talking a little bit more about that in a bit. Pesticides, pollution, previously farmed land, all of it can affect the quality of an oil. Young Living's oils are grade A. So the question is, why would you go the extra step of using an essential oil to get away from chemicals and then use an oil which is laden with chemicals? It just doesn't make sense. So you want the purest essential oil as possible, right? It would make sense. So one of the things that does stand out to me personally is Young Living's seed to seal process. It's a promise of integrity. Gary Young has said that he never makes an oil for profit, he makes it for a purpose. Seed to seal means that each plant is hand weeded, there are no pesticides used, no chemicals, and no weed killers. And I'm just going to do a little cough break here. I forgot to bring my glass of water to my side here. But anyway, the plants are harvested at their peak. Then they're put through a vigorous testing process. Then they go from the farm directly to your home. Seed to seal is not a slogan, it's a promise. Here's another little slide. Just want to make sure I've got, so you can see seed, cultivate, distill, test, and sealed. You can learn more about the process by checking out Young Living's story online and fall in love with the company as I have. You can go to seed2seal.com and see the actual information from Young Living. Now, here's another little just interesting fact. Young Living completes 8 different tests on every batch of oil that is made. That's 8 different tests. Yet only 30% of oil samples tested are actually sold. So the rest are used on Young Living farms as a natural herbicide. And this is from the resource for that fact is Dr. Cole Woolley, who is very involved with the Young Living process and understands these things. So when I learned that, that was very interesting because they're actually using their own essential oils that aren't good enough to sell, but they're good enough to use as pesticides. So once again, you know, the promise to families is We believe that you and your family deserve products that are genuine, free of synthetic chemicals, and of unmatched purity. Seed to Seal is both a promise to you and a reflection of our sense of global stewardship. So that's, it is a promise. And then it gets to the question, why do other essential oils then, essential oil companies sell oils more cheaply? Bottom line is to save money. If you spray your crop with pesticides, you have more crop to distill. If you use a chemical solvent to extract the oil, you pull more out. If you dilute it with a cheaper oil or a carrier oil, you stretch the oil you have distilled. And so simply put, more essential oils are sold more cheaply because companies cut corners. So they're making more product, and that way they can then sell it for a cheaper price. How are the oils made? It takes a great deal of work to produce a tiny amount of essential oil. Here are some examples. For example, 60,000 rose blossoms provide only 1 ounce of rose oil. Rose oil is the most expensive essential oil out there with Young Living, and I don't know other companies, but definitely Young Living. I don't have any rose oil. It's not on my budget. Lavender is abundant. 220 pounds will provide 7 pounds of oil. Jasmine flowers must be picked by hand before the sun becomes hot. On the very first day they open, thus making it one of the most expensive oils in the world. It takes 8 million hand-picked blossoms to produce 2.2 pounds of oil. So jasmine is also one of the most expensive. A sandalwood tree must be 30 years old and 30 feet high before it can be cut down for distillation. But the reality is a little goes a long way. Most oils are actually around $10 to $30 a bottle. A 5 milliliter bottle contains about 90 to 100 drops, and a 15 milliliter bottle contains about 250 to 300 drops. Each application that you do is 1 to 3 drops, meaning even a small bottle will get you anywhere from 45 to 100 applications. Thieves Cleaner is made of plants, and as I mentioned, only costs about $1.50 a bottle to make. It replaces a multi-purpose cleaner, glass cleaner, and floor cleaner. The organic versions of those in the grocery store could run you anywhere from $4 to $6 a bottle. So I mean, you're saving money as well as doing a good thing for your family. Now, are they safe? This is my little safety section, because a lot of people feel that there's a couple sides to the whole essential oils and safety debate. Just because it's a plant, it doesn't mean it is safe to use. There are poisonous plants out there, for example, right? You wouldn't want an essential oil out of a poisonous plant, or you wouldn't touch a poisonous plant. So just because it's a plant doesn't mean it's automatically safe. But knowing a few rules, you can safely use essential oils if they're used properly. So there are certain oils that are photosensitive, meaning you don't want to wear them and go outside in the sun. These are mostly citrus oils like grapefruit, lemon, etc. To me, that's common knowledge. You know, I used to, when I was younger, to try to, sun bleach my hair even blonder. I would take lemon and we would put it into our hair and then go out in the sun because it would attract the sun. So citrus things are obviously, you're not going to want to put a bunch of lemon on your skin and then go lie out in the sun. It will burn your skin. When using on your skin, always watch for redness and dilute with a carrier oil. Dilute oils on children because their skin is more permeable and absorbs the oils more quickly. I talk about children anywhere from 6 years old and under. My favorite spot to use an essential oil for a child is on the bottom of their feet. The skin is tougher there and less likely to be touched if you put their socks back on as well. I've been using essential oils with Nate ever since he was a baby, and I would just put them on the bottom of his feet and put on little socks, and that way he wasn't going to play with his toes and then get it on his fingers and then put it in his eyes, etc. Now, what is a carrier oil? It's a fatty oil like olive oil or coconut oil. That's my favorite to use, and its molecules are much larger than those of an essential oil. Using a carrier oil with an essential oil slows down the rate of the body can absorb the essential oil because it has to kind of ping pong its way through the large molecules of the carrier oil to get onto your skin. Be wary of putting the oils topically near your eyes. That's another key safety thing. There are certain oils that I might not personally choose to put in the diffuser either because they are stronger than others. For example, oregano. I don't personally like to diffuse oregano. Some oils like peppermint can cause a burning sensation. Again, a great oil to dilute. If you're placing an oil near your eye, apply the oil to a Q-tip instead of your finger, and definitely don't just drop straight out of the bottle into or near your eye, because obviously getting into your eyes is not a good thing. Also, be careful of touching your face after using an oil topically on some other part of your body. Wash your hands immediately afterwards. And I unfortunately speak from accidental experience on that one. I tend to get peppermint in my eyes a lot. Key thing here, if you do, most of the time it depends on the oil. Like I mentioned, peppermint I got in my eye just the other night. It goes away. It doesn't damage it, but it stings a little bit. Water actually isn't a good thing to do, not rinsing with water. It's actually coconut oil. Taking a coconut oil dab and diluting it again would be much better. Now, you can become desensitized to an oil if you use the same oil day after day. So rotating your oils every 3 to 4 days is also sometimes a good idea. However, what is great about essential oils is that unlike pharmaceutical drugs or chemicals, which are made to be identical time after time, one bottle of essential oils can differ slightly from the next batch. We're dealing with nature and it can vary slightly, which is also why essential oils are wonderful. What about internal use of essential oils? Here in Canada, we don't do it. We don't recommend it. It's not something that we promote. You can do some research on your own if you're looking for that information. Now, another quick little fact, 75% of American homes and 71% of Canadian households use synthetic air fresheners that contain numerous amounts of chemical agents that have been linked to cancer. Formaldehyde is in air fresheners. The olfactory nerve is a pathway to the brain, which when it is being hit with formaldehyde, it will disrupt the endocrine system. And it actually deadens that nerve, which decreases your nose from being able to